Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US indices for Tuesday, October 12th, and starting with the Russell here. We've been working this particular triangle pattern, which is wave 3 here with an A, B, C, D, and an A and a B and a C here for wave E. Now, of course, if we're wrong, then we'll be going long above, well, this high here now. It's possible to have wave 4 here with wave 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2, but it doesn't look that good at this point. On the tick chart with this, let's just bring in a bit more data as well here. So a little bit squashy here, but let's just get our bearings. So wave C here, and then an A and a B and a C for wave D. And from wave D, we're going down to wave E here in blue. So in that, we're looking at an A wave here, an A, a B, and a C for the B that's finished off. And now we'll look at the wave C here as well. So we're looking for continued 5 waves down here, and we'll pay a bit more attention to that in due course, but that's where it's sort of facing up from and looking good at this point. So yeah, look, it's a bit of a tricky one. So I mean, what we'll do when we get the low here, we'll still just wait for that first little impulse wave to the upside before calling the low in, you know. Sure, we can have fun and say that's the low, but in terms of trading, we'd want an impulse wave to the upside, and then we can go long at that point. Okay, so yeah, we can count 5. You can start counting 5 waves from B to C here. There's a little puzzle in here for you to figure out, but this little move here is corrective, so we should be making a low below here. In the NASDAQ and the S&P, we're also looking for, we'd been looking for the rally to move up, and the next move is to move lower for the last leg of Y of 4. So let's go in and take a look at this. And as I mentioned before, if I'm wrong with this, then support on top of the 15,000 is where we go long from, but otherwise we'll expect another low and we'll do our buying down at the bottom. So on the 4-hour chart, just drilling in, getting a bit of perspective on the actual pattern here in terms of, well, it's a double zigzag, an A, B, C here for the W, then the X, and then an A wave, an A, B. It's possible to have the low here, you know, because we've got the A, the B, and the C here, so that we could just put those in blue and be done and dusted at that point. But the wave C is a little bit small, but that's why I wanted things to play out a little bit. We could still look at this as being bullish, so, you know, but the problem with this being bullish is I never could count 5 waves off the low here. That was why we went with the corrective pattern at that point. Well, there's 2 reasons. And now we're looking at, if all goes according to plan, we're looking for a bearish move lower. And we'll look for 5 waves here, and once we've done with our 5 waves, then we can start our buying. But once again, we will need to have a look at the first impulse wave to the upside. Just breaking this down a little bit here, we talked about this yesterday in a couple of different ways, of course, being bearish, and the bullish would have to get a classic trading levels pattern on the 15,000. So I think the main point here is that that this box here is going to be support. It's played reasonable support before. It's at the 50-60% from that low to that high. That's the 50-60% at that point. And yeah, on the cash market, this is a little bit tricky here, but on the cash market, you could put wave 1 here and wave 2 here. So we're going to be tracking both counts, but on the futures market, we'll need to put that here and that there, and we'll look at this as being wave 1 and 2 here, and we'll look at this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. That will be for the 3rd wave that will come down to these old lows here. We'll just get that out of the way. Wave 3 needs to be longer, so in one way or another we'll see some sort of move down. So just to rehash, wave 1 can go here and it looks good on the cash market, right? So and the ETFs and so on. So anyway, we'll look at that. So we can expect a bit more support to come in through here. So probably something like this, a rally here before heading lower at that point. So let's just take a look at that on the tick chart. 100 ticks. Bring in a bit more data. Okay, so just from the top here, this is how I've got it at the moment. Down for wave 1, back for 2, and then down for 1 here, and back for 2 here, and then down for 1 here. That's probably not finished. Let's just take a look inside of that a little bit. 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What must be the C wave here then? I have to use it. Oh, let me just think that out a bit further. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, we could look at that as 4. And what about this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still a bit more to go in here for that wave 1. Yeah. So yeah, a bit more of a thing here, and then you can look for the 50-60%. I'll just take it to the first supply zone and we'll head on down from that point. Now you may already be short from over here. We were looking also to be on the bullish side, we're looking to be long, and we had something over here looking for a classic trading levels pattern up here, which just in case, if it wasn't the case, but we can bring that down to these highs here now for that. So you can go long at that point, but we're currently short. Once that top comes into play here, then you can bring a stop down from that point. Let's just do that, shall we? I'll just put that up there and put that here for the stop of that trade. Let's just see. So just to recap this a little bit, just go back to the hourly chart at least. So I know a lot of people are bullish, as I mentioned yesterday, and when the market goes up from a low, there's all this it's all the emotion, and not to say that I don't get emotional as well. I mean, if I've got money in the market, I'm going up and down with it as well, of course. But yeah, on the bullish side, we just never really got from that low. We never really got a nice impulse wave here. So just didn't play out as a bullish pattern for me. But like I mentioned, being support on the 15,000, then we can talk about being long from that point. Now, it's still possible that this could be wave 1 here and 2 here, and wave 1 here and wave 2 coming back to this box here, okay? But once you got this level here at the low end of 61.8%, which is group 2 here, so 14,650 in here, that number 14,650, if that becomes the retested resistance, then you know that you're going to be moving down lower at that point, okay, from that point. It's just helpful, do you know what I mean? Because if you're on the bullish side, if you think that it's bullish, then I'm just mentioning to you that the 1465 is the retested resistance, would be the last sort of little bit of hope at that point, I would imagine. So let's go and have a look at the S&P. So just on the daily chart here, just keeping it simple, we're looking at a W and an X, and then an A and a B and a C wave down here, so double zigzag once again. Let's go to the 4-hour chart, and this is where we were on the 4-hour chart. So wave 3 up here, an ABC for the first single zigzag, then X, and then an A and a B and a C down here for Y of E of 4. So we're looking for that rally. On the futures market, that's wasn't the low, but on the cash market that was the low here compared to this one. So there's different ways of looking at that, of course, but yeah, our main gig was that we're looking for a move up and then a move down, and we don't have that yet. You know, it's not that, not to say that the people that are calling the low in here, you know, it's not to say that they're wrong at this point in time. It's just that we never really got the setup either. So this, if we just use that as the first high above the level, well, then we could have gone long above that high, and then we can come down to the second high, whichever here. So then we could go long above that one, and we can still do that because so we've waited for that setup, which we never got. But if for whatever reasons, from this low to this high, this could be up for wave 1 here and ABC back for wave 2 at the 61.8% mark, and then move up from that point. So we need to be prepared for that. We don't want to marry our opinions so much, you know what I mean? We just have to weigh our opinions up and try not to be emotional about them, but we don't want to be ruled by our emotions in this game. So yeah, so we waited for the setup. We didn't get a long trade out of it, but we can bring that down now to that point. That said, we're still looking for this market to move lower. So, don't really need those. I'll just do a bit of housework. I need as much space as I can for putting objects on charts. Just borrow that for a moment. That's it, just the halfway mark there. That's just from that low. So really that's the support level there, but you can refine that. So if it was going to go up, that's where it's going to go up from, and you could look at this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave to this point, and then moving up from that point. So that's looking at the situation. I know that you could get a better entry, and we talked about this second high here, but that would be the entry that would destroy any further downside here. So yeah, so this is also debatable as well, where we put this 1 and 2. Well, on the futures market, I think it's better suited here. On the cash market, it's better suited lower here. I will double check that, but it doesn't matter right now for this. We don't have to reconcile that. What we do want to do is that from the top here, you can see coming down here that there's 5 waves. So 1 and 2 would be at the beginning, of course, and this would be 3 and 4 here. So there'll be 5 waves in this last leg here. So once that's finished there, we'll be looking for a move back up. So we'll take it down to the level, the 43.50 in this case, 5 being the second strongest number, a nice place to park that low. And we'll look for we can expect some sort of rally off the low here. And that could be bullish as well, right? But on the short side, that would be the short under the wave B there. So we could look at this as, I'll put it in here, but we'll go to the tick chart as wave 1 here and 2 here for that. Okay, so that would be the A, the B, and the C here. So under that B wave would be fine at that point. So I'm just thinking, So yeah, look, we've got the upside covered, but I've always mentioned that I feel like we need to come down more, you know. So I still can't confirm that, because if this level, this area here becomes the resistance, then we know that we're coming down further. If it finds support and takes this high out, well then we've got to, you know, we just got to be a sheep. You know, we've got to be. You can be a black sheep, but you can be different. But you know, we've got to. We have to go with the traffic. Let's just go to the tick chart. I think people that trade markets probably are all black sheep, really. Sorry, right, just dreaming. So wave A here, and then the A, the B, and the C for the B wave, and then up for the C wave, and then looking for the turn at the 50-60% retracement level area. So I've got this one a little bit different. I've got this down as wave 1 here. So we'll track both of them. It will become clear at some point what I need to do, but I don't really need to worry about it just yet. My biggest not fear, but my biggest thing is that from this box here, that we can just go straight up from that point. So that's what we need to be mindful of. But just tracking this here for a moment, let me just double check. That's okay for wave 4 there, just checking on a few things. I thought wave 4 could also go there, but I can see that pattern. I know that pattern. So we'll have to look at that as 1 and 2. So we still need a what's the name? We still need a bit of volatility here. So yeah, but from the 350 here, we need to look at, let's just get that back in here. So that's the 61.8%, but I wouldn't hang on that too much. It's really about all of this. That's what it's about. But what we want to do here for this little ABC here is we want to, there's no real first consolidation there, so it might bounce back high at that point. But I'll put that there, just, in fact, I'll just drop that, get rid of that. I'll take that to the 72. Something like that. It's just that B wave here that you want to go short on, wherever that is, you know, over this side. And of course you can also put that through there as well. But just to be a little bit careful, because, yeah, that's quite close to that high there. I can see that it's just a tad lower. So we could, like I mentioned, we can put wave 1 over here as well. Just doesn't count. I mean, this counts down nicely as an impulse wave here. If that was in 5 waves there, I could look at it as an A and a B and a C, but it's just not counting very well. So I'll check on the cash market. I did on the NASDAQ. But yeah, that's where we are at the moment. Okay, so we were going to go long above this top there, but you could also do that over here as well with a classic trading levels pattern, which would be the right thing to do, which would be a more refined thing to do if you're going to go long. Because I've sort of always mentioned that that if we get 4.4 as the support, then we can go long at that point. We can use that high here. We could have used that high. We can use that high. but now we may be able to get a better situation. So just if I'm wrong, that's what we need to do at that point, okay? And if you're looking for the short trade, well, then you have to wait for these 5 waves to finish, and then there'll be some sort of ABC pattern and shorting the B wave here. And also, you know, if you can use group 2 to short that, that will be sort of helpful as well. Just don't short it in the box here, because just in case this is some sort of A wave, B wave and C wave here, and then we go higher there and you'll get trapped, you know. So just be a little bit careful about that. But yeah, that's where we are. Based on this move here, I mean, I can get 5 waves out of this, but it's sort of pushing it a little bit. So we could look at this as wave 1 with an A and a B and a C here for wave 2, and then wave 1 and wave 2, and then pushing higher. So it's possible. Yeah, so we're not, I can't prove yet that we will be coming down here, but it's been part of our plan, and our being part of my thinking, and it may occur or it may not, but we've taken safety precautions with this, so we're not going to get trapped, which is the main thing. And if we're going to trade long, well, now we can do it. We've got something to work with. We've got a correction to work with, you know, if that's going to be the case. So we can go long on 44 here. And yeah, so I think that's all panned out quite nicely. Yeah, so we just got to get the market to, you know, prove to us which way it's going and what it's doing, and we're ready for it. You know, we've waited patiently, and it's looking good. So that's where we are, and I'll leave it at that. And thank you for tuning in, and let's see how we go. Alrighty, cheers.